Freiburger here. This is going to be a week in my gearhead life. I realize that I have a lot of stuff to do this week, and I've also got to crank out a YouTube video every single week, so I thought, hey, I'm going to go ahead and give you a look at what I'm doing. Right now, I am headed out to the 2024 NHRA World Finals at the In-N-Out drag strip in Pomona. If you watched an earlier video of mine, which honestly very few people did, I gave a complete history of the Pomona drag strip. I am convinced that it is the oldest continuously operating drag strip in the world. I'm going out there just to hang out with friends, see some racers, watch some racing, and after that I'm gonna be doing some wrenching and moving stuff around, and well, you'll see. My Suburban is gutless, but I love it. What's happening?
Hello, brother. How you doing?
Good. How about you?
Good, man.
I'm doing a Clay Milliken to Clay Milliken.
I love it.
That's what he does.
And the last time we were doing video, I couldn't talk. So I'm back, I can talk, and I've got all these things to get caught up on talking.
Yeah, I bet you do. Hey, what's happening, Blake? Good to see you. That's John Force. I really don't know him, even though I worked with him a little bit at Hot Rod Magazine. Glad to see him back after a big wreck. And that's my buddy Nacho on the right-hand side. Here comes Fast Jack Beckman, Nitro Funny Car driver. That's Gary Pritchett. He's driven Top Fuel cars, but this is his first time at an NHRA national event. He used to be the clutch guy for Steve Torrance. Brittany Force. Current champion Doug Clem. I'm gonna go fist bump Ida Zetterstrom. She's the FIA World Champion last year. This is her first season in NHRA Top Fuel. And Clay Milliken's sister Lee.
Yeah, oh look, we got Mr. Freiburger getting content of content. How about that?
Well, we were waiting in line and it just started to rain. Hard to know if there will even be a qualifying session today. What do you think?
I think I probably might as well get out because I think they're going to be drying the racetrack.
Yep.
And this is like the worst when you're all pumped up and ready to go, and now Jesse's telling me to get out.
Well, that's it. This was a rain out. Almost everyone I know is gone. So I'm hitting the road and I'm gonna go back home and probably shoot a video tonight. And now I'm in my garage shooting a quick video about the history of Drag Week, the origins of fastest street car racing. You'll see that on my channel at some point. This is my incredibly messy garage, just stacked with stuff. And over here, this is where I film my sit downs in my garage. You can see that I've got a light panel. I've got my tripod right there that I clamp my phone into, and there's my little lair that you've seen so many times with me talking about stuff. By the way, this right here, the supercharger that people notice all the time in my sit downs, this is a leftover from the vehicle that was called the BJ5, the blown Jeep. It was a bright green CJ5 that Steve Dulcich and I did on Roadkill Garage that had a 383 in it with this Wyand 671. So that's where that's left over from. Another thing you might see in the background over here is the Asphalt Outlaws lunchbox with my Super Bee on it. You can see over here is the DF and internal combustion for life decals that I usually have available in my store. And there's some other stuff. Here's one of the aggravations in my garage. See if you can listen really carefully for the crickets. Sometimes those get in my audio in the background and it's super, super annoying. I almost can't work at night because of it. It's a nuisance. Now I have to move on and go do other things. Well, now it's morning and my job today is to go up to the mountains and help my father with his flat fender Jeep. It's got a problem with the clutch linkage, you'll see. But first, I have to gather up all the tools. Now I'm ready to work on my dad's Jeep. It is a 1946 or maybe 47 CJ2A, and the clutch linkage got all bound up and rusted together, and I brought some stuff to fix that. But the first thing I need to address is Willys versus Willis. See, every time I talk about a Jeep and refer to it as a Willys, there's someone who has to comment, Freiburger, it's Willis, not Willys, you should know this. It is true that in 1908, John North Willis, spelled W-I-L-L-Y-S, no apostrophe, he founded the company that was making cars. And yeah, his name is Willis. But my argument is that that pronunciation has been completely lost to the vernacular. No one says that anymore. You actually seem a little bit pretentious to say that, in my opinion, and I'm a pretty hardcore Jeep guy. What's your opinion on that? Willis, the proper name, or Willys, which is what everybody says? To me, it's almost like saying Chevrolet. I'm sure that's a French name that should be like Chevrolet, or something like that, and it's just been lost to time. So there you go. It has been snowing here. You probably saw that on my drive up here, and it is dripping through the deck really badly, but I'm gonna have to get this done anyway. It's been too long that I haven't gotten this thing repaired. And here's what I'm dealing with. This lever right here is attached to the clutch pedal, and it's supposed to go on this bar right here, which is supposed to twist. Then it goes into some Rube Goldberg linkage that activates the clutch. The brake pedal right here also attaches to it. The problem is, this is welded absolutely solidly inside this bracket. It's rusted up so it won't even move. So what I'm gonna do is cut this off, and I have a new one that I'm gonna weld to the underside. Done. All right, I just cut the old bracket off the bottom of the frame. Now I'm going to install a new one. This is the M38 type, or the later CJ2A type. Instead of going up on the frame like this, it just is going to sit right on the bottom. I'm going to clean it up and weld it on. I got that bracket welded to the frame, but now I have to change the master cylinder before I can fit the linkage back up in there. Okay, you ready for a little gasoline? Let me pour it in there. All right. No exhaust. Your choke's wide open. You want to pull your choke? Well, does the clutch work? Are you gonna try it? Can you shut it off? I don't want it to get all hot because I obviously have to crawl under there and deal with it. Well, it didn't work. It's grinding, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get under there and see what I can do. Well, that's it. I threw myself down in a puddle of water and got dripped on all day long for basically nothing. I did end up fixing the clutch linkage on the Jeep. It had a problem with that pivot just binding, and I was able to weld that new bracket to the underside and fix all of the linkage and get it all dialed in, and it works. But unfortunately, the original problem we were trying to deal with is still there, and that is you fire the engine up, you put your foot all the way on the clutch, and it just grinds into every gear. The clutch isn't disengaging from the engine and transmission so that the transmission can work. So that's going to end up being a big job for another day. Who knows? Maybe you'll end up seeing it on my channel. Meanwhile, we've got to pack this thing up for winter, fold it up under the deck here, and I'll be heading back down the mountain. Well, I got home and social media and my phone and texts and calls had absolutely exploded. This was the day everybody found out that my TV shows were canceled. Roadkill, Roadkill Garage, all of that stuff. So I'm here in my garage now, and I'm gonna make a video that you will probably have seen on my channel by now, telling people what all the details are about that. There's a lot of freak out about stuff that's actually not true that I would like to address. Watch for this on my channel, you'll see what I have to say. Freiburger here, it's true. My television shows have been canceled. Man, it has been a crazy 24 hours. Yesterday was the day. I guess I have to wait for this plane, waiting for the battery to die on my mic pack. I'm standing here fighting the noise of airplanes flying by and gardeners doing stuff. That's the struggle of shooting in the urban neighborhood, is there's always noises in the background. There's somebody dropping some piece of metal. Hopefully you can hear it so you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it has been a crazy 24 hours. Yesterday was the day that the news dropped about Roadkill and Roadkill Garage getting canceled, and I've just been deluged with messages. And last night, I did go ahead and shoot that video sort of telling the story about Roadkill, and you can see that on my channel right now, but it has gone nuts. What I'm about to do now is shoot a stand-up that's gonna go at the very beginning of my episode about the Battle of the Beaters at the Duct Tape Drags. So I've got to shoot this stand-up, and then I've got places to go today. We'll be headed out to the NHRA Museum next. Now I'm at the NHRA Motorsports Museum in Pomona, California, and we're here for the celebration of life for Alex Xydias. Alex passed away at 102 years old earlier in 2024. He was an amazing guy. He started SoCal Speed Shop in 1946, and he was the first guy on the Hot Rod Magazine trophy from Bonneville to have a 200-mile-an-hour number. It's 210 miles an hour. Kenzen Leslie actually went 200 first, but he had the higher speed. After SoCal Speed Shop, he was a filmmaker. He was the publisher of Carcraft Magazine. He was the publisher of Hot Rod Industry News. He helped start the SEMA show. And he worked for Mickey Thompson running the Score Off-Road trade show for years. And in his later years, he was just an incredible statesman and ambassador for our hobby and sport. The guy was just fantastic. I can't say enough about him. So we're gonna go pay our respects. I got home from the Alex thing last night and it's just been pure chaos. When I started shooting this video, I didn't expect the news to be landing this soon about the whole shutdown of Roadkill and Roadkill Garage and all the other Motor Trend shows. By now you should have seen that video that I did make the other night that sort of described the whole history of Roadkill. I'll tell you what's going on right now as I speak, as I drive here, is that the rumors and everything are getting out of control. There's people who think that Motor Trend magazine is shutting down, which it's not. It's actually a completely separate part of the company. And so there's just a lot of drama going around on the sort of crisis management of all that. It's been very interesting. Lots and lots of calls and texts from friends, which I appreciate. One job offer, about 3 just vague floating questions. The answers that I have given to that is I don't think I could possibly do another office job. I am hoping to do this YouTube thing. I've spent so many years on the road, seeing cool stuff, flying around, driving around. It'd be real hard for me to get behind a desk again or work for a big company again. I don't know, I guess I'm feeling a little bit free, but also I'm feeling kind of stressed out right now, mostly because of the pending need to post a YouTube video every single week, which I know you kind of got to do. You can't miss a week or YouTube's going to demerit you. And that's kind of why I'm doing this video, to tell you the truth. The other thing that I've had is just so many kind comments from fans who have watched Roadkill over the years. It's been very, very rewarding and flattering to hear from all of those people, and especially the folks who say that we inspired them to get into cars or to get into the industry or, I don't know, to hang out with their dad. The stuff like that is the thing that really, really makes the last 13 years seem like we did something worthwhile. Ooh, Tin Top Samurai. I kind of like the Tin Top Samurai. I like the Tin Top way better than the Soft Top Samurai. Anyway, right now I'm on my way to go have a chili burger, and I have to write a bunch of descriptions for the t-shirts and stuff on my site. If you do happen to look at my site, ooh, that was a ZR2. I've been kind of wanting one of those. If you look at my shop.davidfreiburger.com, there's hats, sticker packs, t-shirts, hoodies, and I write all of the titles and descriptions for that whole thing. I do have a team that handles all of the shirt printing and shipping and customer service and all of that. That's not on me, but I do all of the writing. And so right now it's coming up just before Black Friday as I shoot this, a couple weeks away. And there's a lot of marketing that goes on right then, as you know, from being a consumer. And so I have a bunch of new t-shirts coming out that I have to write about. But I figure I can do that at Tommy Burger. Right now I am driving my 90 Suburban 4x4. You've seen this in a couple videos by now. It's my actual daily driver. I've got that new Challenger. I barely use it. Barely at all. And you may have seen my green Jeep JK that I used to drive every day. That's broken. But I love my Suburban. This is probably going to be my new regular. I'm probably going to have to sell off some cars, sort of as a result of losing storage with the whole TV show shutting down thing. Tommy's to me is even more iconic than In-N-Out as far as LA burger places go, mostly because of my personal history with it. The very first location opened in 1946 by a guy named Tommy Kulaks. It was down at Beverly and Rampart. Place is still there. And that's where I went when I was a little kid. My mom would take me there after she picked me up from school. And later in the 80s, we would go there after a night of carousing Hollywood at about 3 in the morning and have ourselves a chili burger. Look at that thing. Ah. I'm at the 4th location of Tommy's in Burbank, opened in 1973 in a building that was obviously formerly a Der Wiener Schnitzel. All right, I'm gonna grind this thing, then I need to sit here on my phone and write some t-shirt and hat and sticker descriptions and titles and put them up on shop.davidfreiburger.com and sell stuff. Okay, I'm not even making this up. I just fell asleep in the car at Tommy's for an hour. I need to go do something productive. Yesterday, after I woke myself up from the Tommy's parking lot, I came home and just didn't do anything. I don't know, I was so destroyed for some reason. Actually, I did do something. I went on my computer and first of all started planning out my video deal. I sort of treat the videos the same way I did the magazines when I was in charge of those, meaning I'm doing videos not just on one thing, but on a variety of stuff. I've got history, I got engine stuff, I got car builds, I've got road trips, and I sort of plan and pace those out and also try and plan them for the time of year. I honestly put kind of weaker videos on days when I know they're going to be smaller anyway, like on Thanksgiving, and so I just obsess over planning all that out. Honestly, right now I am sort of low on videos, and so I'm panicking a little bit and trying to get stuff done. This is my dog Tuggy right here. Tug is a Alaskan Husky, and he's 13 years old. He was a rescue, and I don't know, he likes to hang out outside. What I'm gonna do now is continue shooting a video that I've been working on for 2 years, getting my 72 Roadrunner going. I'm real near the end. It's taken so long because I've been spending so much time on the TV shows, and now obviously I have a bunch of time to get it done. I've been procrastinating on working on the grill on this because I just hate little fiddly bodywork stuff like that. But it's finally time. So I'm going to show you sort of a time lapse of messing around with that. I'm not sure if you will see the Roadrunner video before or after you see this video because I told you I sort of move stuff around. But we'll see. So I'm going to work on that for a while. I bought this stuff from Andy Gets Angry on eBay. It says, Andy gets angry when you ask for rust-free rollers, you ask for Cudas, you ask for 69 Dodge Chargers. He's apparently a Mopar guy. I got a yard full of rust. Roadkill, call me. That happens sometimes. All right. I got the Roadrunner grill going along pretty good and took a break to come out here to my neighborhood holiday get-together. All right, that was a pretty good break at the Christmas party. Now it's the next morning and I'm gonna keep going on the grill of the Roadrunner. I got the bezels in. Now I have to paint this thing up or prep it anyway. And this is virtually irreplaceable, so I have to be really careful. So I'm gonna do that and then move on to the next thing. And as a reminder, you will see all of this stuff in an episode that is all about building my 72 Roadrunner. And once again, I don't know if I'm gonna post that before or after this whole week in the life deal. Okay. Sanding, and it's drizzling. Now I'm at the LA Auto Show at the Los Angeles Convention Center. I've been doing this with my kid since he was 5, so that's 11 years now. I typically don't care a lot about new cars, but I'm happy to get educated about them. Let's walk around and I'm going to see if there's any vehicles I have at least a speck of interest in. The Subaru Outback Wilderness Edition. I actually like the Subaru BRZ and the clone Toyota GR86. Little rear-wheel drive sports cars. And here's the Toyota version. The new Strop Edition Bronco is really cool. It tributes the Baja Bronco that Ford built in 1971 through 1975, a very limited edition. And those were a tribute to Bill Stropp, who was a legend in Ford racing at the time and who had built the Broncos that won the Baja 1000. I'd never have a Bronco Sport, but the throwback stripe package is cool. It mimics what was available in 1978 on the Bronco. Ooh, Bronco Raptor. Here's the best vehicle here to support the Wrangler 4xe. And the Hellcat-powered Durango. Pretty good. This is the new EV Dodge Charger Scat Pack. I had seen these in sort of prototype form. It's the first time I've seen a complete car. And this is the OVR area for overlanding stuff. I actually know the guys who run this. They have a magazine and it's all about overlanding 4x4s. Very cool stuff. It's neat that they got the footprint here. Let's check it out. Ridiculous. The Ford Ranger Raptor. I've actually considered trading in my Challenger for one of these or a Chevy ZR2. I sort of have to decide which one is better. I really don't like the orange interior trim on these or the fake appliques. This is the Colorado ZR2 Bison, which is the one I really want. It's on 35s and beadlock ready wheels. American Expedition Vehicles tuned. I feel the front end on these is a little bit more overwrought than the Ford, and that piano black right there, how is that gonna hold up to a bunch of dirt? If I didn't like the little scoops on the Raptor, this is completely fake on the hood of the ZR2. I find the interior on these much less offensive, although I don't really like the digital camo. Overall, I'm gonna say I think I'm a ZR2 guy more than the Ford Raptor guy, even though the Raptor is much faster. I could probably only buy a regular ZR2 though, not the full-on Bison edition. Why is this thing called Wookender? Now let's see how many manufacturers we can find who committed to going all EV or mostly EV, but then walked it back. Porsche, Stellantis, General Motors, VW. There's also Lotus, BMW, Mercedes, Volvo, Bentley, and Rolls-Royce, but none of them are here, and pretty soon I won't be either. I gotta get back to work. Well, now I am cruising my Dodge Ram V10 4x4 stick. A lot of people have told me that I should make this vehicle a project on my YouTube channel. I ordered this thing brand new. I have trouble seeing it as anything but just a utility vehicle, so I'm still not sure. It definitely needs a Comet wash, and I need to make the steering wheel straight again. Throwout bearing squeaks. Seems like boring content to me. Anyway, this morning I went and looked at a 69 C20 for sale. I didn't shoot any video. It seemed like kind of weird to do at the guy's house. It just wasn't the right truck for me, and I think earlier in the episode I may have mentioned that I need to be getting rid of vehicles. I'm still shopping anyway, you would too. But the reason I need to get rid of stuff is I have had a lot of free storage from the company for a long time, dating back to when I was a car magazine editor back in the 90s, and that's going away. So right now I am on my way down to a new storage unit that I have, what do you call it, subletted from a guy who rents from Lucky Costa. And I'll introduce you to that guy, Mikey P. He is the showrunner on, let's see, Hot Rod Garage, Engine Masters, Super Street, and Dirt Every Day. And so he's one of the leftover Motor Trend cronies. And I'm gonna drop off a couple engines that I've got in the bed of the truck, and I might even have time to go over to Motor Trend and pick up 2 more and get them stored. So that's the plan for this morning. Now it's starting to rain, my engines in the bed are not covered, and my Ram doesn't have functional windshield wipers anymore. Woke up one day, had nothing. Absolutely no action on the wipers at all. So this is pretty awesome. Here's what we got. This is my so-called COVID 350. I built this on an episode of Roadkill in 2020 when we had to work from home, and I assembled a small block Chevy from all parts that I had laying around in my garage. And so this is a 350. It ended up going in my 56 Chevy called the Field Car. I think it went 1150s. It ran to 7,000 RPM. The problem with that is that we took it apart and all the main caps were walking. It doesn't like that kind of RPM. And so I plan to put this back together as sort of a mild combination. This over here is a 363 small block Ford that was on a bunch of episodes of Engine Masters. I bought this when I thought that I was going to own the Bang Shift Cougar that is now Dulcich's. This thing has made 1,000 horsepower with boost, and now they're both going into long-term storage before I have time to work on them. But I'm thinking you will see these on my channel, especially this one, probably in the next 6 months or so. While I'm down here dropping off engines, I wanted to show you Mikey P's 67 Chevy truck. This used to be my truck. It was a Hot Rod Garage TV show project that was a long bed 67 Chevy C10, and those guys shortened it up and turned it into a short bed. After that, I bought it. You saw it on Roadkill Garage where Dulcich and I painted the bed to match. You can see that it's not right now because I later sold it to Mikey P, who was the showrunner on Hot Rod Garage, and he ended up getting rear-ended in it, fixed the bed, put a big block in it, and he's now working on putting an LS in it. That's all I've got for you at this point. Right now, I am out on the road shooting another video, which is going to be exploring Route 66 in the desert of Southern California. It's actually really good. I will give you a promo for that right now. I've spent 4 days doing this already, so I kind of leapfrogged my week just a little bit, and I've seen some really, really cool stuff. So stick around for that, and do me a favor, buy some merch and come back and make sure to see the channel, share the channel, and I'll see you next time.